but just using a calendar as your friend, and as if you're in that stage of life where you're running all over the place, like, your calendar needs to be your best friend when it comes to scheduling this uninterrupted, no multitasking, just straightforward time with your spouse, with your family. Your calendar needs to be your best friend. This is Ryan and Michelle, and welcome to the Celebrate MarriageCast, where we hope to restore and reclaim godly marriages through honest and real conversations.
Welcome to episode 135. We're so glad you're here today, and we're proud of you for making this investment in your relationship.
Absolutely. Michelle, 135. That seems like a milestone. I don't know really why, but
we talked to somebody the other day that I think theirs had hit like 100 episodes and their season of life changed. And I just feel like we've been so consistent.
Yeah.
And I've always said consistency over time always yields results. So yeah. Look at us. Look at us go.
Absolutely. Michelle, it has been an interesting week for us.
Yeah.
We shared last week we got new phones.
Yep.
Yeah, now it's trying to figure out how to use them.
You guys, none of my passkeys converted over, nor did my apps. So I spent Saturday downloading apps and logging into websites.
Yeah, Michelle, for people that don't know,
we had SEs before this with a button, as you recall.
I have been skeptical of technology.
Yeah, that's true.
That's maybe a good way to say it.
And that's why Thomas and I are on the Artemis 2. Yeah. And you guys are not.
Yeah.
Because we signed up for boarding passes and you said you didn't want to be on the list anywhere.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Not like
Ryan's like in hiding.
Not in hiding, but I have agreed to more facial recognition this past week because I've just been hitting buttons like I don't know, and it's just that it scans my face, and I don't know. Apple has my identity now.
Yes.
So
yes, they do.
It's all fine. It's all fine. So it's been fun. It's been fun. At least we can download things now because we have enough space on our phones.
I think that's why my transfer didn't go that smoothly because I don't think my phone had enough juice. I think it gave it all it had. It was like, this is all I can give. I'm done. Yeah. I had 0.1 gigabyte left or something. It was maxed.
Yeah.
But I have a great camera now. I took a photo of jeans and you could see every fiber on the 8x
it's pretty incredible.
Camera. It was, I was like, gosh, this is super fun. It'd be fun for our son to do science experiments with and investigate, I don't know, blades of grass or whatever.
Yeah. You want to know what else? Sorry to go along with that story.
What?
I feel like I won
Husband of the
Year award here.
You did. Okay. So after I took the photo of the fabric and I was like, oh my gosh, I'm going to take a photo of my face. Ryan was like, Michelle, love, take one of my face first.
Yeah.
And that was really kind of you. Right. And it actually didn't really turn out. I thought I thought I'd be able to see all my pores. Yeah. But that was a really selfless thing.
Yeah. Yeah. I figured, hey, run it on this face first and see what you see.
Before I devastate myself and spend the night crying.
Right.
That was really kind of you, love. Thank you.
Okay.
What do you have for us today? This is a Ryan O'Connor original.
Yeah. Let's jump in here. I think this is a really needed episode. It's one that's been rattling around for quite a while for me.
Usually I have a show in there somewhere, a couple of shows and percolating.
Usually shows that kind of rattle around my brain and this one is coming to life here. So Michelle, I want to share some statistics with you.
Okay.
I just have 3, but I found these 3 very, very interesting.
Okay.
Hit
us with them.
The first one, the average adult switches tasks 28 times per hour.
Per hour?
Yes, but complete only 4.1% of them successfully. Ouch.
Yeah.
That's the first one.
I feel like I'm part of that group. I feel like I'm constantly toggling from this conversation to that thing, and then I'll circle back around. Even when I talk, I'm bouncing all over.
Yeah.
I'm part of that. Okay, what's the next one?
Next one. A 2019 study by Microsoft found that the average human attention span has dropped from 12 seconds in the year 2000 to 8 seconds in 2019.
Oh my gosh. Okay. So that was 7 years ago.
Yeah.
So how much do you think
Probably
we're at?
6 seconds right now.
And what is a goldfish? 7 or 8? Are we? No, I'm serious.
That's a great question. Okay.
They're like, there's like a saying, like, be like a goldfish, right? Like
goldfish.
Quick to forget.
The cracker came up with that. Yeah.
Right. That's always been a thing. I feel like I heard that before, the goldfish cracker. But I don't think theirs is very long either.
Yeah. Wow. Okay.
Okay. Well, that's depressing.
Okay.
Okay. Next.
Last one.
What great, happy statistic do you have for us?
Stanford University in 2010 study found that multitaskers are 40% slower and 20% more error prone on complex tasks compared to single taskers.
You know what's crazy about that is that every job like requirement list everywhere. I feel like every job says, we want multitasking, must be able to multitask. They're shooting themselves in their own feet, right?
Yes. It doesn't work. So here's the thing that's been rattling around in my brain, Michelle, and I want to pose a question to our listeners.
Okay.
Are you multitasking your marriage?
Mm-hmm.
So I think we can all agree that marriage is a complicated task, right? And I think we can all agree that it should require our best work.
Right.
But are we giving it the time and attention that it needs? Are we trying to fit it in with everything else going in our lives?
Wow. I think I'm just processing all of that in relation to the stats that you shared about 40% slower, 20% more error prone, 4.1% likely to finish your task successfully. And then applying that to marriage, you're right, Ryan. Like, we are so busy doing all these things that how many of us are multitasking in our marriage? And we're decreasing our effectiveness as a result.
Yeah, absolutely. And
I love this. I love this concept.
I am saying this with full guilty here. I mean, I think, the big area that I think I see this just for us is communication. How many times are you communicating while doing something else? I know, like, I'm guilty of this. Like, dishes need to be done, laundry needs to be put away, dinner needs to be made. And all the while, like, your spouse is talking to you, but, like, are you really listening to what they're saying?
Yeah.
Like, am I giving my best, quote unquote, work to our marriage, to our relationship? Like, if I think about this in the form of that last statistic, right? Multitaskers are 40% slower and 20% more error prone. Do you want those statistics when it comes to your marriage?
No, I want your full attention. I want your best, right?
I mean, I think of so many times, Michelle, where, like, you've said something to me and, like, I was doing something else and, like, it did not register in my brain because I was doing something else.
Sure.
And you think about the task, you think about the complex task that marriage is, and we're not giving it our best. We're trying to do that with doing other things.
I think I have challenges with, and we'll get to this too, but phones are super distracting. I cannot communicate when I'm thinking about other things or on my phone. Even just, I feel like I'll jumble words a lot. So even before we were just getting ready to record here, I'd said, what did I say? Something like, oh, I did that like yesterday, but instead of yesterday, I said last year. And it's because I was like looking at the notes as I was talking to you. I can't do it. I can't multitask. And that's when, like, all the time at home, how often does it happen where there's so much in my brain that I'll be trying to say something to you without being fully focused, and I'll swap words, or I just do this to start with. I'll mix up sayings and I'll say the opposite thing. And you're always like, Michelle, what did you say, love? Or do you mean this? And I'll be like, yeah, that's what I said. No, you had it like flipped. But it's because I'm doing a million other things and I'm not just talking to you.
Right.
Yeah. Ryan, I think another one is just being, or did you have more for communication?
No.
Okay. I think another one is just being present. This really matters for marriages. And the question to ask is, are you around each other? Just proximity.
Yeah.
Are you eating dinner together? and I know that, your people are busy with sports and things, but that's been a staple of our family. And I really think that that's why we've seen so much fruit from that. But maybe you just eat late, okay? Because that's the time when your whole family's together, or you eat early. Hey, you know what? Ryan and I had dinner at like 4:30 tonight because that was the time that worked before podcast record. So we were literally the first people inside of Puerto Vallarta tonight for their dinner crew. And felt like I was really, like senior citizen eating time, but hey, that's fine. It's happening.
Yeah.
So, okay, other questions. Are you having regular family nights? Are they on the calendar? Last weekend, for our 5-Minute Friday, we test you with planning a summer schedule, just being intentional with your time. Are you regularly attending church together? We've always made that a non-negotiable for our kids. And it's not like we're dragging them by their ears, but they just know we're O'Connors. That's what we do. We go to church together. We worship together. This is our core value, our core belief. And they want to come. Our daughter, we've shared this a ton, but she is down at college and she has a church home. And she's told us, hey, I only have a month left on college campus and I want to be there so I can attend my church home. It's really important to her, but those are habits developed because that was a priority to us. So we went to church together. You might think that divide and conquer is a great strategy. And, there are so many times where we'll hear, parents say, oh, I'm going to be in Minneapolis this weekend with this kid and the dad's going to be in Kansas City with that kid. But when it comes to marriage and family, there's strength in being together. It's not healthy to continue to fracture and divide that family unit time and time again. We know there might be times when it needs to happen, but if that is your reality, it's not healthy. So I hope that this is a wake-up call to that. Busy schedules lead to multitasking, and multitasking leads to issues. We've just shared the stats. It's no different in your marriage. And our brains are just not wired to be fractured like that. And it impacts our spouses and families, and they can't pay the price for it. But they are paying the price for it.
Yeah, absolutely. I think of that so often, Michelle, just, in just being fully present. And I know we live in a world of so many distractions and so many things. And I know that you think you can do it, but studies have found this, science has confirmed this, you can't. You absolutely can't. I'm even thinking of the scripture about just like a house divided. You think about your mind, your brain being divided, it will fall. And I think so often, and again, I'm guilty of this, of, scrolling on your phone and, you're scrolling and, our son comes up and talks to me and I'm not giving him my full presence.
Right.
And so it's where we've all felt that personally.
It's really happened to you when someone's not been paying attention. You can tell
stinks.
That. Right.
It stinks. You're talking to someone and they're checking their phone as you're talking to them.
You're like, okay, well, I see that you're busy. I'm going to get back to whatever. It's fine. I'm not your priority, loud and clear.
Yeah. And I think there is so much value in just being present.
Yeah. I think we justify a lot, and we also... Not that we're delusional, but I think we can deceive ourselves and think it's fine. I have it all together. We can divide and conquer. This is kind of unrelated, but related. I think it was over Easter weekend, a family member was saying that they had seen something about this person that was texting and driving, and maybe it was on a show. I don't know. It sounds like a Dr. Phil something or another. I don't know. But they were saying that there was this person that was texting and driving, and they didn't think that they had an issue. So then they took them to driver's course. It does sound like Dr. Phil, doesn't it? They took them to a driver's course and filmed it and then confronted them. It must have been. But someone had watched this and had shared the story. But to actually, so this person was like, oh, I'm a fine driver. I can do it. But then actually see the proof on video was like, oh my gosh, I need to get help. Yeah. And I think that we need to take a step back from the daily hustle and bustle and really see what's happening. Like, is this really healthy for your family to have mom at this sport and dad at this activity every night or most nights of the week? I don't think it is.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I'm going to use a term, but like, you know, if you rewind and watch the tape, right? And look at like, okay, if, you know, part of, I look at our daughter, she's 20 years old. And, you know, if I go back and look at things like this, we had certain things that were priorities,
non-negotiables
that were non-negotiables. And part of like, you can see that, you can see the fruit that has come from that.
Yeah.
And,
it's
you know,
undeniable.
Yeah. I mean, and, you know, just personally, I think I'm at a point where I'm becoming very aware of this and multitasking, and like even at work, you know, you're doing something, you get pulled away. And there is something that they call like the distraction. Like essentially every time you get distracted, it takes like X amount of time to get back into what you're doing.
Yeah, you know, I had a friend that just told me that yesterday, actually. she said 10 or 15 minutes. Yeah. It's around there, right?
It's something pretty crazy.
Maybe more.
Yeah. But yeah. And I just, you know, I'm just becoming very aware of that in life and in, you know, work, in marriage, of just, man, how distracted and how much it's easy to think you can multitask. And in the meantime, like it just doesn't work.
It feels like it's more about quantity than quality.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. That's
right. Like how much can I get done? How much can we cram in? How many things can we have every family member in versus, you know what? It's okay to say no.
Yeah.
Like they don't have to be in all the things.
Yeah.
They might just need your time together as a family.
Yeah.
Like, what if that was one of your activities? Like, just quality family time with mom and dad.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that's great. Well, you know, Ryan, I think one of the things, so we brought up two areas, right? So communication and presence.
Yeah.
Right. So now we're going to give some tips.
Yeah, Michelle. So I think it's important to look at, you know, how do we, you know, we've determined it doesn't work, right? But we live in a society that believes multitasking is the best thing in the world, but it doesn't work. So how do we kick this unproductive habit?
Yeah, we have some O'Connor family tips for you.
Yeah.
So one of the things that we've done throughout the years is to implement a no phone zone. So pretty self-explanatory. Find a spot, put your phones away. It can be a time and a place. So usually during dinner, always during dinner. Actually, I'm going to change that. It's not usually, it's always during dinner. There are no phones on the table. Yeah. It's just not permissible. There are no devices on the table during dinner. It's not we're not allowing notifications to come in. We're not being distracted from our family. And then we'll usually do something like high-low high, or, you know, where's your bucket at? For a while, we had this journal that had different prompts. Pastor Kevin, our youth pastor, just shared, instead of high-low high, he has his youth students do high-low buffalo. I think that's really fun. High of the day, low of the day, and then you end it with something super random. The buffalo is random, right?
Yeah,
like seeing a buffalo during your day would be kind of random.
Yeah.
So high-low buffalo. Or if you do the high-low high, it's just ending it on a positive, but getting that dialogue going and having that quality time. So that's one hack that we have.
Yeah. And Michelle, to add on to that, I think something that's very important is our kids have held us accountable to this too.
Yeah, for sure.
They're very much a part of that, and be like, oh, no devices at the table. Mm-hmm. And it's just great. Everyone has that same buy-in.
Yeah, like if I'm working on the table and then let's say maybe things don't get cleared, it's just like, oh yeah, that's right, thank you. And then we'll clear it. Or if, you know, I hear a phone, I think it's happened where the phone's been on the counter and maybe I forgot to silence my watch settings or something, where it's like, oh, I'm going to call. And then Tom's will be like, hey mom, nope.
Yeah.
Like, okay, thank you, buddy.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's been really great. Or
yeah, I mean, I think the other thing, Michelle, is no phone zones, but also no phone times.
Yeah.
Trying to implement that time period where you're not on a screen, and I think one of the things that we've found is really trying hard, and it doesn't always happen. I'm not saying this is perfect, but trying very hard, that hour before bed is just a time of less distraction, more connection.
Yeah. And I think I love that, Ryan, and asking yourself, because we've shared how, I can't look at a news site right before bed because it's just going to get my heart rate going. It's going to get your heart rate going because I'm going to have questions or want to ask you. And then it's just like, then we're all amped up. So even I think social media, because do you really feel great after looking at social media? I mean, think about that. Maybe sometimes, but sometimes you'll scroll through and either, compare or feel bad. Studies have shown that people don't typically feel great after being on social media. So just don't do those things before bed. Don't be checking your work emails. Don't be checking your emails. I know it feels good to kind of check things off your list, but maybe do that earlier in the evening. Maybe you sit in your car for an extra 10 minutes when you get home and go through your personal emails or something, or just find a way to compartmentalize that so it's not in your no phone zone or your no phone zone time.
Yeah, I mean, I think just that's a perfect example, Michelle, because you're multitasking, doing that and preparing for sleep.
Yeah,
and it does impact your sleep. Mm-hmm. And so, that in itself, you're trying to multitask of I got to get these emails done real quick. It comes at a cost.
Yeah,
you know? And so I think that's a great example.
And I think too, even if you are, I think you just need to be careful about when you're doing that, even if it's not an hour before bedtime, but often if I check a work email in the evening, typically there's something that pops up and then what happens from there, right? And then you're kind of on this whole trail of work thoughts, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's typical or it's probable that if you open those emails, whether it's personal or work, during that family time, something is going to pull you away. So don't let the emails just happen to you. Be really intentional about how you steward and direct and guide that time, right? Because then you're letting things happen to you versus you taking control of the night.
Yeah.
Right. So instead of saying, well, I'm going to open my emails and see where it goes. Oh, yeah, I need to do this thing. I need to do that thing. Oh, work project. Oh, that popped up. Oh, I should do that tonight, or I need to call this person.
Right.
Don't let that happen to you. Take control and just put a boundary in place.
I love it. Yeah. So good.
Okay. So next tip is not letting your calendar be your enemy when it comes to ditching the multitasking habit. So schedule your day. Do time blocking, or if you have a hard time getting all of your chores done, what we've done is a power clean. I like that in our notes you had 20 minutes because usually when I suggest it, it's 10 minutes, but reality is it usually is 20 minutes. So that was really great, right? I see what you did there. But what that looks like for us is the house will be, we'll have dishes or, laundry or whatever, and we'll be wanting to wind down for the night, or we've shared that we'll have tea, we'll sit in the living room and we'll read or chat or whatever, and just have kind of a peaceful, wind down to our evening after Thomas is in bed. But it's hard for me. Ryan's fine because I feel like guys can compartmentalize. So our house could be a tornado and you could just sit and vibe in the living room and you're fine with that. And that we've also shared that used to be a point of contention between us, that you would just be out there reading and I would be like, how do you not see this entire disaster out here? But now we've really worked on our communication over the years, and you know that you need to be same team with me on that. So usually it's like, hey, let's do a 20-minute power clean. Sometimes, if our son's still awake, we'll get him in there too. 20 minutes, everyone, power clean. Let's see what we can get done. And then it's just a really focused, intentional time of power cleaning. Super exciting, right? But it really is great because then you don't get distracted by other things. You just have to get it done. And then you know that there's more of a reward on the other side.
Yeah.
So that's one of our hacks.
Yeah. And I love that time that everyone's on the same page, right? And we involve everybody, everybody, hey, I'm setting a timer. We're going.
And we'll divide rooms. You take the living room, I'll do these dishes. Thomas, you put your laundry away, go.
Yeah, absolutely. Michelle, I love the idea of the calendar and scheduling it. And, I think it's really important to, you said this a minute ago about, if you still have work things on your mind when you come home, like just take 5 minutes, take 5 minutes in your driveway, in your garage, and just get it done, get it done. And then, or schedule, I'm a big fan of just like scheduling time, like schedule 15 minutes when you get home and just say, okay, hey, we're not going to do anything else. We're just going to chat for 15 minutes when we get home. Connect, connect
that was an assignment a few weeks ago. Like, hey, the first, how you enter the home really sets the tone for the night. So carve out that time in the beginning. Yeah.
And just put everything to the side.
Yep. I love that.
Nothing else. And it's scheduled. It's scheduled from this time to this time. We can connect, we can catch up on the day, and then you can go about doing what you need to do. Yeah, that's great. But just using a calendar as your friend, and as, if you're in that stage of life where you're running all over the place, like your calendar needs to be your best friend when it comes to scheduling this uninterrupted, no multitasking, just straightforward time with your spouse, with your family. Your calendar needs to be your best friend.
If you're not in control of your calendar, you're living your life by the urgent and the emergencies, and you're just letting your day take you into what direction the thing that is the loudest or most urgent pulls you.
Yeah, absolutely.
So you have to take charge of that. And Ryan, one thing I heard years back, he was someone that was on our elder board at the time of the church here, the LBA. He had said that if he found himself entering the house and he started to bring up work or talk about work or think about it, he would actually send himself back out the garage door, or his wife would send him out, and then he would re-enter the house. It's just like a reset. Like, nope. You know what? I'm still at work. Let me leave and try this again. I'm going to come back. And when I used to work from home, I would say that. I would say, okay, everyone, I'm leaving the office now. See you soon. And then be like, okay, hey, I'm home. Just to it's so silly, but it was a mental break. And because I needed it. I needed it to, you know what? I'm home now. Brain. Can't go back to work. You're at your house. Or if I would wander back into work, if I'd be at my laptop, you would say hey, how did you end up back at your office? I thought you drove home already. So it's just have those boundaries.
Yeah, absolutely. One of the things, Michelle, also that I wanted to address here is this statistic from Microsoft about your attention span. 12 seconds to 8 seconds, probably more along the lines of 6 seconds right now, which is crazy. But I also believe it. If that's you, part of the biggest thing I think is to try to chunk this out of being like, I think I'm going to take 5 minutes.
Do what?
If that's you and you realize that of my attention span is going here, there, everywhere, of just hey, I'm going to take 5 minutes to have one-on-one conversation with my spouse.
Sure.
I'm going to put my phone away. I'm not going to check anything. I'm just going to have this conversation with my spouse, or this conversation with my kids, or whatever it is.
Baby steps. Yeah, that's great.
Because I see that. I see that I see that especially in kids.
Yeah.
Of that scrolling mentality of I'm sort of fascinated by it, because I've shared this, I'm not on social media, but watching people on social media, it's very fascinating.
I think you're right with the kids. We've seen kids before where, and even, our son, if he'll be on YouTube Kids, it's he swipes through videos so fast. And I remember saying to him one time, it's been a few years, but I was like, Thomas, how do you even know what that video was about? He'll watch, it's the kids version of it. So it's sports videos and stuff. And I was just swipe, swipe, swipe. And I'm like, whatever, gosh, what a tricky job we have as I have as a marketer because
Right.
I mean, he was giving each of these videos like a second to decide if he wanted to watch it or not. And I was like, buddy, whoa, slow down, let your brain just focus on something for a few seconds here. But you're right. I think technology, we all know that technology is changed how our brains work. So Ryan, do you want to recap these for our listeners?
Yeah.
We talked about 2 areas at the beginning.
Just the 2 areas in the beginning, I think especially where I've found like multitasking to be a challenge, I think when it comes to marriage. One is communication. Like you have to look eye to eye and get that connection.
Yeah. Whole body listening.
We've talked about this before, but it's just you have to, and it's something that creates connection. It creates intimacy by just stop, schedule the time out, and just face to face. I'm not gonna let any of this other stuff, hand to hand, whatever you want to do, and just have that connection.
Yeah.
But I've seen a lot of communication. I think second is being present, being in proximity of one another, having time together.
Mm-hmm. So not just mentally present, but physically in proximity present.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, working on your schedule.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's great. Ryan, thank you for another great show. We heard great things about the show that just aired this week and the week before, and just really great stuff lately. So thank you, Ryan, for your work
Thanks,
on these.
Michelle. So, absolutely.
I don't think we have a mystery question.
No, I don't think so.
Do you have anything?
Do I have anything? I don't know. I can't come up with anything.
Okay, so at the time of the recording, the Artemis 2 is in orbit in space.
Oh.
My question for you is, oh, no, do you have a question?
No, you go.
No, you go.
No, you have one. Go.
I just wanted to know if you had the chance to go, would you do it?
No.
You wouldn't?
No.
I think I would.
You'd go to space?
Yeah.
Wow.
I think it'd be amazing.
I think I would be fine once I was up there.
Sure.
Getting up there would be...
Well, you don't like motion rides, so you couldn't do the Avatar ride or anything.
That would be too much.
Well, I just think it would be... It's like when we had our son... it was a team effort. We had our son. Well, I think it's funny sometimes when people are like, we had a bit, like, yes, we did. When I gave birth to our son, there we go, that's the proper way. It was such a moment of awe and wonder at God and creation. Yeah. And I remember saying to you, I don't know how anybody could have a baby and not believe in God. Like, it was so miraculous. And some of the comments I've been seeing is just as they posted photos of the earth and all these things, it's just, wow, can you believe that we're on that blue and green ball just hanging in the universe? Like, that is so crazy. And that the sun goes around and, half a day and heats us up and provides light source for our plants, and we have water, like, and we're just hanging there, and we have this moon and our gravity, and we're anchored on this planet. Like, isn't that just mind-blowing?
Yes.
Like all those things that are in this universe, and to know that we have a creator that made that just so and created us.
Yeah.
Like, just like every little thing about us, he created for a specific, purpose and by detail and design. Yeah. So I think it would be cool.
Okay. Here, I got a bonus one for you.
Okay.
Sorry. It's just, it's similar.
Yeah.
And it came to me when you were talking.
Yeah.
Because someone asked me this question. Would you rather explore space or underwater, like the ocean?
I think space. The water, I feel like I would feel claustrophobic. Like, if I was at the bottom of the ocean, I would just feel like it was going to collapse on me. What would you? And those things that wash up, like on the ocean, like you wouldn't.
The ocean freaks me out. I'm just going to say it.
Do you remember when we went to Catalina Island and there was a huge, long snake-like thing?
Oh, yeah.
With little tentacles?
Yeah.
And it was like dozens of feet long.
Yeah.
And it just washed up. People had never seen that creature before ever. And
what was that?
I don't know.
Like an oarfish?
A super freaky thing that washed up from the ocean.
I think it was an oarfish.
No,
I could be wrong.
Absolutely not.
Yeah.
No.
I have no... I don't think I could.
But no on space and no on ocean. So you would just... stay planted here. You're just going to stay where you are.
Here's cool. I like it.
You guys, thank you so much for joining us today. Hey, ask those questions to your spouse, see what they would say.
Yeah.
And we thank you for joining us today on the Celebrate MarriageCast. We want you to know that we have resources at Celebrate.church/marriage, and you can find information about our church at Celebrate.church. We're also on Instagram at Celebrate MarriageCast. We hope you have an amazing week.
Have a great week.